The AC Mark IV is a tank from the land down under. It's a bloody good tank made by Aussie engineers. In War Thunder it's a rank 3, 5.0 battle rating tank. That being said, it's also got a decent pommy 17 pounder, about the same power as a horde of emus. However, Australians design things like this. Step 1. Get drunk. Step 2. Draw any shape that comes to mind. Step 3. Write down any number that comes to mind. And step 4. Imitate other YouTubers who use this voice and continue colonial voice-to-speech expansion and domination by taking over Ash's YouTube channel. Anyway, back on topic. Yes.
No, you fucking dropkicked wombat. Get the fuck out of my channel. Out. Anatomy video. Shoo. Get out. G'day, I'm Ash. This is the AC Mark IV Thunderbolt. It's a wonderful little machine. Well, it's not so little. But first, I'd like to say hello to all you newcomers to the channel. Hello, I'm Ash, and you will find varied videos, not just War Thunder on this channel. So, keep that in mind when you're seeing a new video from me. It could be absolutely anything. On top of that, I'd love to thank everybody for coming along and helping me reach a milestone of mine, which was 2,000 subscribers. So, if you like what you see, stick around, because I have a lot of varied content on this channel. This is Evarno in his AC Mark IV. He's on the map Port Novo, as I'm going to call it Port Novo because I can't actually pronounce it. He's in simulator battles, and one of the things that's interesting about tank simulator battles is the fact that you're limited to the turret, so it's very interesting. On top of that, it's a lot harder to spot targets, as we're going to see here in just a little bit, but it's a lot more harder to identify friendly targets as well. So this is a replay sent in by Evarno. I don't usually feature replays just because I absolutely hate the replay system. It's clunky, as you can see. It glitches every time he goes into his sight there and into binoculars, and it's kind of awkward. One of the things you've got to watch out for is the fact that you can get shot from any direction and not know where it comes from. Speaking of which, he gets absolutely plastered by that HS-129. It could have been the HS-129 that shot at him, but my feeling is that there's another tank over the other side. Nevertheless, you're going to check your 6 religiously because you don't have a lot of viewing distance when you're sitting on the top of a turret, like it would be emulating a commander sort of sitting on the turret with a bunch of binoculars. So he's lost his transmission and one of his crews. He's going to start repairing now. One of the things I like about this thing is its mobility. It's got decent mobility for a tank of its size compared to other British tanks. And he's on the move again. Friendly Churchill up ahead. Just got to verify your targets, as he does as well. One of the biggest differences in simulator battles, at least, is the fact that you don't have markers over your friendlies as well. So you have to identify your friendlies, which is a key aspect. So he's turned right here. He's going to check behind every corner in the buildings, just double checking. He's coming up to an open patch. And, well, doesn't look like there's any enemies around here. And bingo, blammo, there is a Panzer IV. Panzer IV-H at that. Churchill's put one shot into his gun. The Panzer IV turns his turret this way, puts one shot into the side, knocking out almost everyone. Doesn't quite hit the ammunition. Aims a bit far forward. Boom. Knocks the driver out. That's one well-placed shot indeed, and that's Evarno's first kill for the match. He's got to be particularly careful because he never knows when or if he's going to get shot at from any which direction. He's in quite an open position at the moment, crossing the river over into the other side of the town here. Friendly Churchill also crossing over. Another friendly tank over to the left. What's that? Another tank over to the right there? Okay, it's just an Australian cruiser. So he's got up into the other side of town. His team's capped B, and they're also looking to cap another point. However, the point that A is being decapped by the enemy, so Evarno turns his attention towards that direction. One of the other things to note is it's harder to tell where your vehicle direction is headed without the icon on the bottom, and of course he's just hit an indestructible object, so he reverses back up and he spots some gun smoke. So we're going to go chase that gun smoke down. He goes and burns his artillery on a location which he knows where the smoke is, flushing the Panzer IV out in front of him, and boom, straight through the front flat piece on the Panzer IV, knocking out all the crew. Very nicely done. A very clean kill at that. Anyway, no time to stop, you've got to keep your mobility up as he may have friends. Anyway, it looks like he's got no company, so we're going to try checking the warehouses and the rail yards over there, making sure there's no enemy tanks. I'm going to push over towards the capture point, which is just on the other side of these buildings here. I don't know whether he has friendly support, but I assume there's a couple of friendly tanks nearby. At least I'd hope so, because, you know, you never know when an enemy tank could push around and sort of say hello at any point in time. One of the other things you use to spot targets, particularly, is using your own hearing. Now, there is an enemy tank nearby. It gets absolutely shafted by a friendly. He's just going to check where that friendly is, but that's the dead tank right there. Just as friendlies or somebody launches artillery onto the cap point here. So he's going to be particularly careful, sticking to the edge of the building, that way he knows his boundaries. He's going to reload, and just watch this. This is a very interesting play. He's sticking to the edge of the building here. He's shot out a bunch of cover there. One smoke shell. Waits for it to reload, and he's probably going to go shoot the next smoke shell round about there. So look at the smoke bloom on that. Isn't that wonderful? A tactical use of cover preventing the enemy from seeing into the cap circle. Australian cruiser off to the right there. However, notice they're not capping. So, what are you got to do? There's an enemy inside the cap, multiple of them, preventing them from capturing. He knows they're on the other side of that building, so he's going to head towards the dock side. Artillery still raining down from above here. It's quite interesting watching a simulator battle play out, because I find it very entertaining. There's a lot of suspense. Okay, the friendly tank gets taken out, and he fires a smoke shell into the side of a Panzer IV. Reloading his main AP, and the friendly Hellcat manages to take out the Panzer IV. Well, sad, but he didn't get another kill. Anyway, he looks to the right there, and oh, hang on, that's a target. Boom. Panzer IV knocked out, sitting in the shed just across from the cap circle. M18 pushing round the side there, and it gets another shot from the other direction. Okay, just scanning the horizon. So, everybody's in cap, they're decapping, making sure they get all the points they can. Evarno is just looking that direction, because there was another shot from that direction, and the enemies are from his right there, as he's repairing in the cap circle there. Evarno here has actually been quite lucky. He survived quite a number of shots, and the armour on this thing isn't bad. It's not great, it's not bad, but it's a medium tank, and it's not really a heavy tank. But one of the interesting things about the AC-4, when they were trialling the turret to see if it could handle the 17-pounder gun, as the HS-129 goes and crashes into a building, they trialled it with two 25-pounder guns mounted in the turret. The picture's going to be on screen here. For those of you who don't know, the 25-pounder is an artillery gun, and they mounted two of them in the turret of this thing, just to test if it could handle the recoil from a 17-pounder. Gosh, Australians are just absolutely crazy. You gotta give it to them. When we put our engineers to work, we make the most crazy, ludicrous machines. Just look at the Boomerang or the CAC Sabre. Anyway, Churchill's going to push around the corner here. Evarno's going to follow him. That's when the Churchill gets shot from the front by two Hetzers sitting side by side. Evarno puts his first shell, is getting shot at by AAA. His first shell on the Hetzer ricochets. He's going to reload and put one into this whirlwind. Boom, knocking out the gunners. Unfortunately, he gets an assist on that vehicle. Focusing back all his attention on the two Hetzers. Crew knocked out. Lower hull glacis just knocked everybody straight out. Next target, second Hetzer. Churchill's still miraculously alive. Just a little bit lower, Evarno. Just a little bit lower. Waiting to reload. Boom, crew knocked out. Straight through the same, knocking out 3 crew. Pretty much the same way as he knocked out the first one. That earns him a double strike. On top of that, he is now an ace. Yes, an Australian tank ace. What more could you ask for? Anyway, he's going to follow the Churchill closely there, just double checking if the Hetzers had any friends. As he's pushing up, he notices that the friendly that was capping C had got taken out, so he drops some artillery on the C capture point here. Evarno's got to be careful here as he's in a particularly open position, which could mean that he could be flanked from any particular direction. That being said, he spots some smoke off to the left from a gun firing off. He's just going to confirm it. There it is again, the second shot coming out from that building. There has to be a tank over that direction. Hold on, there's a Marder 38T. puts one shot into it. Doesn't kill all the crew, but knocks it out considerably. That martyr is on the retreat. Friendly Cromwell goes in for the charge like he's fixed his bayonet. Anyway, Evarno pushes up, so does the Churchill. Checking his left and rights again, making sure there's no flanking AAA, when he gets stuck on this mound here. What does he do when he's stuck on a mound? Continue driving? Nope. I'm just going to sit on this mound, fire a general direction, and kill a Panzer IV. What a fucking legend. But there's no time to party. There are enemy tanks crawling everywhere. Cromwell's firing at something, and so is the M18. However, the M18 gets in a bit of a panic up ahead there, and turns around to try and get away from some issues. Evarno, not giving any fucks at all, just drives straight out into the middle. The M18 is quite frankly looking like he's found 1,000 enemies. Evarno, knowing that there are some enemies out there, all of a sudden spots a Marder 38T. The M18 reversing up. Evarno then puts a shot straight through the Marder. This is his 7th kill. What a nice shot indeed. Knocking all the crew out on that Marder 38T. The work's not done, however. He's got enemies all over the place. The friendlies have capped C, and he's just going to sit in here temporarily. But, oh, change of plans. Enemy artillery. So he's going to continue on, because you never know what is going to be around the corner. All of a sudden, there's a Panzer IV. Evarno flukes his shot straight into the side of the Panzer IV, critically him. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the kill. That's his 3rd assist for the match. Anyway, he's going to cautiously come around the corner here. Is there going to be friends of this Panzer IV? Who knows? But there are certainly enemies about, and Evarno definitely knows that. What's that? Is that a tank behind that bush there? Nope, it's just an enemy wreck. Anyway, cautiously looking around. He could get hit by any direction now. And oh, that's when he gets hit by 2 shells from 2 incoming tanks. One shell catching him on fire, he doesn't care. He fires blindly into the Panzer IV, knocking out most of its crew members, putting out the fire. Waiting, and is incoming fire from all directions now onto his right here. He swings the turret back round. The Panzer IV promptly pulls out in front of him, and boom, knocks out all of his crew. So, that's his 8th kill, but there are still more enemies on the way. He reloads and he's still waiting for himself to repair, when all of a sudden, from the same position, there's another Panzer IV. Boom, hits it in the side. Evarno now waiting on his reload, counting on it. Still waiting, puts a shot directly into the Panzer IV, doesn't get the kill, he gets a kill assist, when all of a sudden a whirlwind comes out around the corner, knocks out the M18, Evarno promptly puts one shot straight through the centre, knocking the ammunition out on the whirlwind. That is his 9th kill. Enemy aircraft still furiously flying above, he's just double checking his targets there when he spots a Panzer IV. Too late, couldn't get a shot on him. Evarno coming round the corner there when he spots another tank. Boom, catches the Panzer IV F2 on fire. He's going to roast for a little while. He deploys his smoke screen and uh-oh, a Dickermax. The tickets are running down. Evarno manages to take out the breach on the Dickermax, points his fire towards the Panzer IV, no worries. Straight again, knocks out the crew on the Dickermax. That is his 10th kill, right at the end of the match. Evarno doing my squadron proud. He managed to get 10 kills, 4 assists, 13 critical hits, 21 hits, and 1 zone captured, for a total of 8,835 modification research. Congratulations, Evarno, on having an absolutely fantastic fucking game in the AC Mark IV, Australia's finest and only tank in War Thunder. To those of you who have made it this far into the video, thank you very much. You guys are awesome. I'd like to thank the patrons for supporting the channel. Considering it's the only thing that's keeping me alive at the moment, I appreciate you all very much. Thank you to Evarno once again for sending in the replay, you fucking legend. Speaking of which, if you want to send me a replay, go ahead and jump onto my Discord, linked in the description down below. You can send me a replay direct, and I may watch it, and I may even feature it on the channel. Anyway lads, I think that's about it. I don't have anything else I need to say. This is probably going to be the last War Thunder video until 1.77 drops, which could be next week or the week after, we don't know. But until then, my name's Ash, and I'll catch you in the next one.